You're going to get a test on this on Friday. Okay. Today we're going to talk about tips. Does anybody know what tips are?
Yeah.
What do you think?
When someone pays you extra, like a waiter.
Like a waiter, when someone what? So when someone pays you extra money, the number one example of when they pay you extra money is when you are a waiter. A good waiter.
A good service.
Good service. When you provide good service, you get an additional tip. The number one, in my opinion, the number one person who gets tips are usually waiters and waitresses. When you go to a restaurant and someone takes your order, someone brings you your food, someone cleans up after you, those are the people you usually leave tips for. When you go to McDonald's, In-N-Out, Burger King, you know how you go up, you order, and then you go up and you pay and you get the food, right? You take it back to your table, and then you guys clean up, right? You throw away the trash. Do you give a tip there?
No.
No.
Why does Burger King just pay you then?
True. So that's the difference. Like if I go to like Olive Garden or what other restaurant? Applebee's, Fridays, the Boiling Crab, Lucille, that main place, Denny's, IHOP, all of those places, your parents probably left a tip. Either they leave extra money on the table, or if they pay by credit card, they'll add an additional amount on the credit card bill, right? But if we go to In-N-Out, we're not leaving a tip. Does anybody know a different place, other than a restaurant, where you might give a tip? Raise your hand if you can tell me another place. Car wash. That's a great example. At a car wash, when your dad or mom picks up the keys to the car, they leave a tip. Anybody else have an example where you might give a tip, where you've seen someone, your parents, give a tip? True, but they're not for tips. Starbucks, now you have the option of leaving a tip.
I've never seen anyone tip a Starbucks.
We're not used to it. Alright, anybody else? How many of you cut your hair at a location?
I just cut my barber shop.
So if you go to a barber shop or a beauty salon, you leave a tip. I need a haircut.
If it messes with my hair, I'm not giving.
Okay. So, here we go. Your first step is you're going to take your bill and we're going to multiply it by your percent. And this will give you your tip amount, ladies. Tip amount. Your second step, hasn't it always been your first step multiplication? Yeah. Right? Your first step for the last 2 weeks have always been multiplication. That does not change. Second step is to take your bill and you're going to add your tip amount. This will give you your total bill. What do these two steps remind you of?
The
Tax.
The discount.
Oh, we can also tip.
Do we add in discount? No. This looks very similar to tax. Joe?
You can also tip like a delivery guy that delivers your pizza.
Oh, Pizza Hut.
True. If you get delivery, from Pizza Hut, Domino's, things like that, you would give the delivery guy a tip. Yes, Jesus?
Wait, but I see on one of the pizza boxes that says the delivery charge is not a tip.
Exactly. So when you order, let's say Domino's, and it gets delivered to your house, you'll get a fee. It's called a fee of like $2, right? And then they let you know on the receipt that that's not a tip. That's just a fee. So provide an additional tip to the driver. You're correct.
Or Uber.
Uber.
Yep. So there's a lot of places. All right. So let's say the bill at Red Robin is, let's say, $42. Okay? So just for the food, the soda, that's $42. Now, I'm going to tip the waitress or waiter because they provided a good service. So I want to leave a 20% tip. Okay? What is my total bill? In other words, how much is this whole meal going to cost me with tax and tip included? This bill of 42 already includes my tax, okay? So, what's our first step?
Multiply 42 point 2.
Yes. So, we remember that 20% is 0.2. Do we need that 0?
No.
Nope. Okay, so let's multiply. 42 times 0.2. Go ahead and get started. One step ahead of me, please. How many times do I move my decimal? 1. Very good. Don't forget that. Okay? So what does this represent? The $8.40. What does that represent? My tip. So my tip is equal to $8.40. So, sorry, hold on. You're correct. So step 1 is $8.40. What do I do in my second step, guys?
42 plus.
$8.40. Now I'm gonna make a mistake. I'm gonna make a mistake, and I'm gonna use a pencil that I don't have. Oh, here's some pen. Okay. I'm gonna make a mistake.
Whoops.
Think we're okay. Okay. Here's a mistake. Who wants to tell me what is my mistake? We'll start with Angel. If he misses something, listen up, and then I'll call someone else.
You forgot to put the decimal right there.
Oh, I forgot to put the decimal. Thank you, Angel.
It's not a mistake if you.
Okay, Jasmine, what else is my mistake? Oh, I didn't line up the decimals. So is that okay?
No.
No. Where's my decimal on 42?
On the end.
Behind it. Am I still okay right now?
No.
All right.
Nowhere near.
Nowhere near it, exactly. But that's a mistake I see you guys do. Where does the 8 go? Underneath what number? 2.
It's not a mistake if you don't lie.
What goes on top of the 4? 0. That's one thing oh my god, it's pen. One thing I like about the graph paper is that you can totally be super neat and write one number in each box. Decimals, when you're adding and subtracting, line up. When you multiply, you move them, but line them up. Alright, go ahead and add that. Jesus?
$50.40.
$50.40. 4, 10, carry the 1, 50, add 0. So this is my total.
You could be like Mr. Beast and tip from like 2
Oh my god, yeah.
Alright. So, what's your first step? Multiply. What's your second step? Add. Cool. So let's say I take my favorite students. Me.
Me.
None from this one.
Oh yeah, no one could
Not
did
from
it.
this class.
Alright. So, say I take Miss J to Olive Garden.
Olive
She's
Garden.
got us.
Where you get your free breadsticks.
Yes. Okay, Olive Garden. My Olive Garden bill
Too expensive.
was
We'll go there.
$130.
Oh.
Because Miss J and I took our favorite students from period 4.
Oh.
I was favorite student, so I should be the favorite student.
True. Aren't you lucky those who were absent yesterday? My Olive Garden bill was $130. Okay? They didn't give us extra breadsticks.
Oh,
Terrible.
that's sad.
So we
No tips.
want to leave a 15% tip. That's usually the minimum.
5%.
Usually the minimum is 15%. 20% is a really good tip. So the last problem we did 20%, which is a good tip. This is 15%. This is an okay tip.
Meh.
Alright. So, what's our first step? Taking 15%,
Multiply.
0.15. Very good. So, first step, 130 times 0.15. This, if you want to do the lattice way, you can certainly do it here.
$19.50.
Yep. So my lattice showed me it's 1950. So 1950 would be your tip. So I'm gonna give the waitress or waiter an extra $19.50 extra on top of my bill. So what's my total bill? How much did I end up spending on Olive Garden?
Way too much.
Would you actually waste time on
149.50?
Olive Garden is expensive.
Yeah. Mhm.
You get free breadsticks every time.
Mhm. Mhm.
And Saturday, mostly morning.